We're almost at the end of the school year, which makes this the perfect time to think about what actually worked in your classroom and what made your days feel stressful and chaotic. Today, we're talking about simple classroom setup and organization ideas that can make next year run so much smoother. So let's get started. There's three main things to consider when you're setting up your classroom, and the first one is traffic flow. At the end of every school year, I always like to step back and really look at how my furniture was arranged and determine if there was a good flow. I usually suggest that if you do want to make changes, do it during the last week of school. That way, you can practice it with kids that are actually in the classroom to see if they can move around easily. Plus, you can drag the furniture around because you don't have to worry about scratching up the freshly polished floors, since custodians are probably going to be waxing and polishing them over the summer. So first thing is to check out the doorway. Is there enough room for the kids to line up to go out in the hall? What kind of furniture do you have near that classroom door? This is a good place to put a little table or a shelf for kids to turn in their daily folders. It's also a good place to have them sign in for lunch or attendance. That way, when kids first get to school, they can do those morning chores right away as they come into the classroom. But I don't think you should keep your mailboxes near your classroom door. Those need to be in a place where there's plenty of room for a couple of kids to be at the mailboxes at one time. For me, I used to have the kids get their papers from their mailboxes at the end of the day when they were loading up to go home. So I'd call a few kids at a time, and so I needed those mailboxes to be in a place where there was plenty of room. Take a look at the traffic flow and make sure there's enough room for you and the kids to walk between the desks or the tables so that nobody's bumping into anything. Can they get to the supplies easily? Can they walk to the carpet and turn in papers and line up without having a bunch of chaos? You want your classroom to be cute, but it can be hard to function if the traffic flow isn't good. You definitely want to think about center placement when you're considering the traffic flow also. The best thing to do is to write down all the centers that you have in your room and what kinds of furniture every center is going to require. So for instance, if you're going to have a classroom library, you're going to need shelves to hold the books, maybe a rug to sit on, or even a soft chair or a beanbag, or maybe a little couch, just someplace for kids to be able to sit comfortably when they're looking at the books. For a few years, I had my library smack in the center of my room. This was when I was doing flexible seating, and I actually loved it. It felt like the library was the most important place in the room, which I loved because reading was the most important part of our day. Other times, I chose a corner near the front of the room for my library, and the reason I did that was because it was near the carpet for our whole group lessons. This is where I do our read alouds, and so I liked the close proximity to our library to grab books for stories. Are you going to have any kind of art station or creative station in your room? If so, it's a good idea to have that near your classroom sink for easy cleanup. So think about where all your centers are going to be, what kind of furniture or shelving you're going to need at your centers, and how the flow of traffic is going to be from place to place. All right, the second thing you want to think about when you're setting up your classroom is student independence. You want kids to be able to do things on their own without constantly needing your help. So what are some of the things that you can do to help with that? Well, one thing you can do is to clearly label all of your bins, your book bins in your library, your art supplies, paper, everything. Labeling bins with both the word and the picture of the item inside is really helpful to kids because most of them aren't going to be able to read the words, especially at the beginning of the year. I used to lay a big piece of white construction paper on a table, and then I'd get my bins and I'd take an item from the bin and I'd lay it on the paper and snap a picture. And then I could print that picture out with the word on it, and then I'd tape those to the front of the bins. And so everything in my class was labeled like that. So it was really easy for kids to find stuff when they needed it because it had a picture and the word. You also want supplies to be in easy to reach places, not high up on shelves where kids can't reach. When you have boxes with extra crayons or glue sticks, pencils, stuff like that, where kids can grab them when they need them, it helps them become more independent and it cuts down on interruptions, especially during small group. I mean, you have to have rules as to when kids can get those supplies, but I think having them in an easily accessible place is a good idea. You also want to think about where kids are going to turn in papers when they're finished and have that in an easy place for them to get to. And honestly, I don't think the turn-in basket should be on your desk. And the reason for that is germs. Kids are always sick with runny noses and coughs and everything else, and I personally like to keep my desk as germ-free as possible. So put your turn-in basket on a shelf or a table away from your desk if you can. When you're planning out your centers, think about how you're going to set them up so that kids can be as independent as possible at the center. That means you have all the necessary supplies at that center. What do they do if they break a pencil? Are you going to have a little mini sharpener at the center so that they don't have to bother you to sharpen a pencil during a small group? What do they do if they need, a certain colored crayon? Do you have a place where you can store extra crayons? And are those in a place where kids can get to them by themselves? These are the kinds of things you need to think about when you're planning for student independence. The more independence kids can be, the smoother your day is going to run. All right, and then the third thing you want to think about when you're setting up your classroom are the things that you use every single day. Things like pencils and construction paper and dry erase boards, your read-alouds, your copies that you're going to be using during whole group work, your student workbooks, all that sort of stuff. Think about how you can set up your classroom so that you can easily access all of those things in the most efficient manner. For instance, like I told you, my classroom library was set up near our carpet area because that's where I read aloud to my kids, so books were easily accessible. I had a shelf in my classroom where I kept all the kids' workbooks, their journals, their interactive notebooks, all that sort of stuff. My students sat at tables, so we didn't have storage there, and I used to use seat sacks for many years, but I really didn't like them. They got really dirty, and the kids used to shove stuff in them like papers and snack wrappers, and it just drove me crazy. So I decided to just keep all the workbooks and stuff on a shelf. As far as the reading and math workbooks, they were all exactly the same, so I could just call the kids up table by table to grab one from the shelf. We tore the pages out that we did every day, so it never really mattered which workbook they got because they were all exactly the same. And we kept their journals in a basket, and they were all facing forward with their name on the front. So when we were going to use journals, I'd just stand there and call their name, and they'd come and get their journal. Really only took about a minute or two, and it was an easy way to store that stuff, and it eliminated those messy seat sacks. So think about all the things that you use every day, and then make sure you have them in places that make sense and that are easily accessible for both you and the kids. Because if you use something every single day and it's hard to get to, that's what's going to slow you down. So once again, when you're thinking about your classroom setup, the three things you want to keep in mind are the traffic flow, student independence, and the things that you use every single day.